Eva Andales from BS Ed English 2A student. I am Miss Marion's partner for this topic, which is entitled Kohlberg Stages of Moral Development. And my task was to further explain the 6 stages of moral development. And as we can recall, Miss Marion already explained to us of who is Lawrence Kohlberg and how did he develop his ideas in regards with this theory. So now, let's move on to the 6 stages of moral development. And as we all know that moral development is the state of knowing or having a better idea of what is right from wrong. So now let's proceed to the 3 levels. By the way, Kohlberg identified 3 distinct levels of moral reasoning, with each level split into 2 stages. And so again, each level, which is 3 levels, split into 2 stages. And the 3 levels are pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. So now let's proceed to the first level, which is the pre-conventional moral reasoning. So pre-conventional moral reasoning is the judgment based solely on a person's own needs and perceptions. It is a moral reasoning that is based on external rewards and punishment. It is characterized by the desire to avoid punishment of gain reward. And the 2 stages that belong in this level is the Stage 1, obedience and punishment. So obedience and punishment is common in young children or the infancy. So the age range in this stage is infancy. So it is common in young children, but adults are also capable of expressing this type of reasoning. And according to Kohlberg, people at this stage see rules as fixed and absolute. So obeying the rules is very important because it is a way to avoid punishment. And if an action leads to punishment, it must be bad. And if it leads to a reward, then it must be good. So now let's proceed to the second stage, which is individualism and exchange. So children account for individual points of view and judge actions based on how they serve individual needs. Reciprocity or exchanging things with others for mutual benefit is possible at this point in moral development, but only if it serves one's own interest. Reasoning about right and wrong depends more upon the situation than general rules. So, if we are in a difficult situation, we tend to follow our own decision or our own interest rather than to follow the general rules that is existing. So now let's proceed to the second level, which is the conventional moral reasoning. So conventional moral reasoning is the expectations of society and law are taken into account. Laws and rules are upheld simply because they are laws and rules. And the primary concern is to fit in and play the role of a good citizen. And eventually, this still has 2 stages, which is developing good interpersonal relationship and maintaining social order. So let's first discuss the stage 3, which is developing good interpersonal relationship. So from the word interpersonal, so it is the way that we socialize with other person to obtain our personal needs. So we really need to have a relationship with other people. So in this stage, it is focused on living up to social expectations and roles. There is an emphasis on conformity or pagsunod, being nice, and consideration of how choices influence relationship. So, why is that choices influence relationships. So if I were having a relationship with let's say for example a friend, so my decision is very important, or having a better decision is really important to my friend, because my decision or my choices can affect our relationship. So that is why social expectation and roles plays an important role, especially in relationships. So in this stage, it is often referred to as the good boy or good girl orientation. So, makahinumdum bata nga pagkabata kung makabuhat ta og sakto or kuntahay like manlimpyo ta, manilhig, moingon dayon ang atong mama og good boy, good girl. So, that particular situation falls in this stage. Okay, so now let's proceed to the stage 4, which is maintaining social order. So the focus is on maintaining law and order by following the rules, doing one's duty, and respecting authority. So why is it important for us to respect authority or follow the rules? So as we all know, by following the rules or respecting one's authority, prevent chaos and prevent bad things to happen. And in this stage, it focused on ensuring that social order is maintained. So by having a maintained social order, will eventually have a better outcome for the whole society. Let's proceed to the post-conventional moral reasoning, which is the level 3. So in this level, judgment based on abstract personal principles not necessarily defined by society's laws. Reasoning based on personal moral standards and characterized by references to universal ethical principles that represent protecting the right of all people. So it protects the right of all people, and most adults do not reach this level. So now let's proceed to the stages that belong in this level. So stage 5, which is social contract and individual rights. Individuals become aware that while rules or laws might exist for the good of the greatest number, there are times when they will work against the interest of particular individuals. So, rights of some authority and the needs of some deserving individual who is being unfairly treated or who is being in a really bad situation. People really make their own decisions and do not follow the existing laws when they are in difficult situation, especially when they are unfairly treated, like in the Hens dilemma that Miss Marian read to you. So in that particular dilemma or problem, Hens there is unfairly treated because he really need the medicine for his dying wife, and in that time, due to some authority of the doctor that made the drug, he come up into a bad decision, which is to steal the drug for his wife. So okay, so much for that. Let's proceed to stage 6, which is universal principle. So people at this stage have developed their own set of moral guidelines which may or may not fit the law. And the principles apply to everyone. Examples are human rights, justice, and equality. So human rights, justice, and equality really applied to every one of us. So I think that's it. That's the 6 stages, which is Lawrence Kohlberg developed. Okay, so now let's proceed to the problems with Kohlberg method. So in here, as we can see, there are 4 identified problems with Kohlberg method. So first, we have the dilemmas are artificial or lack of ecological validity. So like on Hen's problem, it is very unfamiliar, right? And so in here, most of the dilemmas that has been used by Lawrence Kohlberg are unfamiliar to most people. So that is the first problem with his method. The second one is the sample is biased. So why is it biased? So did you know that Kohlberg's theory was based on an all-male sample? All male. So he uses only male sample. And as we all know that men's morality is based on abstract principles of law and justice, whereas to women, that's based on principles of compassion and care. So men's and women's morality has differences. So the third one, or the third problem, is that the dilemmas or problem are hypothetical. They are not that real. So in real situation, what course of action a person takes will have real consequences. If a person does wrong, then surely he will wait for a real consequences. And the fourth one is the poor research design. Kohlberg uses cross-sectional, in which he interviewed children at different ages to see what level of moral development they were at. However, longitudinal type of research design must be used on the same children or children at the same ages. So as we can see in the monitor in this video, we have the cross-sectional and the longitudinal type of research design. So the cross-sectional is when a researcher uses different ages to see what level of development they were at. So as we can see in the picture, there are different kinds of colors, right? So that is an example that a researcher uses different ages or respondents at different ages. And however, on the other side, the longitudinal type of research design, which means that the researcher uses a respondent at same ages. Like what we saw, the color in that side is the same. So that just means that the researcher uses respondent at same ages. Okay, so I think that will be all for this topic. Me and my partner hope that you have learned something from this topic. So thank you for listening, everyone, and have a great day.